I stood in the back of Holy Trinity Church on March 24th, 2024, watching 150 people check their phones at exactly 10:47 a.m., 2 hours before my best friend was supposed to marry the woman who had no idea he'd been sleeping with my wife for the past 10 months. And I felt absolutely nothing. If you got about 30 minutes and maybe something strong to drink, settle in. This story's long, but I promise you every single minute is worth it. Because this isn't just about catching my wife cheating. It's not even about losing my best friend of 12 years. This is about the 4 months I spent in complete silence, watching them lie to my face every single day, while I methodically planned to detonate their entire lives on the one day they thought they'd gotten away with everything. 4 months ago, I found the video. 2 years before that, I stood as best man at my own wedding, while Tyler, the guy I'd lived with in college, the guy who knew every stupid thing about me, made a toast about true love lasting forever. And today, right now, I'm standing here, watching 2 marriages end in real time because of one email I scheduled from a burner account. My name's Christopher Hayes. I'm 31. I teach 9th grade English at a public high school in the Chicago suburbs, and up until January of this year, I thought I had a pretty good life. I had a wife I trusted, a best friend I'd die for, and a quiet, comfortable existence in Glen Ellen, Illinois. I wasn't rich, I wasn't special, but I was content. I'm not anymore. Let me take you back to when things were still normal, when I still believed in people. Tyler and I met in college. We were randomly assigned as roommates sophomore year at University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I remember the first day I moved into our dorm room in Allen Hall. He was already there, unpacking, and within 5 minutes he'd introduced himself to everyone on the floor. He was this charismatic guy, tall, athletic, always had people around him, always knew exactly what to say, the kind of guy who could walk into a party and instantly become the center of attention. I was the opposite, quieter, more thoughtful. I preferred reading in coffee shops to going out. I was the designated driver, the guy who proofread everyone's papers, the one who remembered birthdays. Not exactly the life of the party, but Tyler and I clicked. He'd drag me out to parties and introduce me to people. "This is Chris," he'd say, "smartest guy I know." And I'd help him study for exams, keep him on track when he got distracted, talk him down when he got too cocky. He pulled me out of my shell. I kept him grounded. We balanced each other perfectly. We had this tradition on Sunday mornings. We'd walk to this diner called the Original Pancake House on Green Street and get coffee and split an order of their apple pancakes. We'd talk about everything: his family drama, my parents' divorce, classes, girls, life plans. He wanted to go into marketing, make a lot of money, live the corporate life. I wanted to teach, make a difference, have a quiet life. "You're going to be one of those teachers kids remember forever," he told me once senior year. "The one who actually gives a shit." That meant something to me. Coming from him, we were brothers. That's what we always said. Brothers. After graduation, we both ended up in the Chicago suburbs. Him in marketing, me teaching. We'd meet up every couple weeks, grab drinks, watch Cubs games. When I started dating Rachel seriously, Tyler was the first person I told. Rachel. God, Rachel seemed perfect at the time. I met her junior year of college at a study group for statistics. She was pre-dental. I was already set on my education track. She was pretty, practical, had her life planned out. I was drawn to that. My life had always felt chaotic. My parents' divorce, money struggles, figuring out who I was. Rachel had this calm certainty about her. She knew she wanted to be a dental hygienist. She knew she wanted to get married by 28. She knew she wanted 2 kids and a house in the suburbs. She made me feel stable, safe. We dated through her dental hygiene program. She'd come over to my tiny apartment and we'd cook together. She'd make this lemon chicken pasta that I loved. We'd watch movies, talk about our days. It was easy, comfortable, not fireworks but solid, reliable. When I proposed at 26, it felt right. Young maybe, but right. I proposed at Lincoln Park Zoo on a Saturday afternoon at the penguin exhibit because she loved penguins. I had this whole speech planned about how penguins mate for life, but when the moment came, I just looked at her and said, "I want to spend my life with you. Will you marry me?" She cried, said yes, kissed me right there while kids pointed and tourists clapped. Our wedding was small, 70 people at a lodge in Wisconsin. Tyler was my best man. He gave a toast about how I was the best guy he knew and how Rachel was lucky to have someone who'd actually remember their anniversary. Everyone laughed. Rachel squeezed my hand under the table. I was so happy that day. I remember thinking, this is it. This is my life. Wife, best friend, teaching job, everything I wanted. For the first few years, it was good. We bought a small house in Glen Ellen, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. Needed some work, but it was ours. Rachel got her job at the dental practice in Naperville. I got hired at Wheaton North High School teaching 9th grade English. We fell into routines. She'd be up at 6, out the door by 7. I'd leave at 7:30. We'd both be home by 5 or 6. Dinner, TV, bed. Weekends were for errands, seeing friends, maybe a movie. It was normal, peaceful, a little boring, maybe. But I liked boring. Boring felt safe. Tyler met Emily about 3 years into our marriage, through mutual friends at some party. Emily was this genuinely sweet woman, taught 2nd grade at a Catholic school, wore a cross necklace every day, had this warm laugh that made everyone around her feel comfortable. She was pretty in a natural way. No makeup needed. Smiled with her whole face. She was perfect for him, honestly. She softened Tyler's edges, made him want to be better. He was less cocky around her, more thoughtful. I remember thinking, this is good. Tyler needs someone like this. The 4 of us started doing everything together. Game nights every Friday at our place or theirs. We'd play Cards Against Humanity, drink wine, order pizza. Rachel and Emily got close fast. They'd text each other throughout the week about work drama, share recipes, plan girls' weekends. We took trips together. Wisconsin Dells one summer, Nashville for a long weekend, Chicago museums and restaurants. There are photos of the 4 of us all over my old Facebook. Arms around each other, smiling, happy. We were family. Or I thought we were. I should have seen the cracks earlier. Maybe I did see them and just ignored them. I'm good at that. Ignoring problems until they're too big to ignore anymore. Tyler met Emily about 3 years ago through mutual friends. Emily was this genuinely sweet woman. Taught 2nd grade at a Catholic school, wore a cross necklace every day. Had this warm laugh that made everyone around her feel safe. She was perfect for him, honestly. She softened his edges, made him want to be a better person. Last August, Tyler proposed to her at a Navy pier. Big romantic gesture, fireworks in the background, the whole thing. Emily called Rachel immediately, sobbing happy tears, asking her to be a bridesmaid. Tyler asked me to be a groomsman. We were all so excited. The 4 of us, Christopher and Rachel, Tyler and Emily, we did everything together. Game nights every Friday, couples trips to Wisconsin. Tyler helped me move when I got my teaching job. I helped him paint his apartment when he got promoted at his marketing firm. We were family. That was before I knew what they were doing every Tuesday and Thursday night when Rachel said she was working late at the dental office. The cracks started in September, about 4 months after Tyler proposed to Emily. Looking back now, I can pinpoint the exact moment things shifted, though I didn't recognize it at the time. It was a Tuesday night. Rachel came home from work around 7:30, which was already unusual. She normally finished by 6. She said one of the hygienists called in sick, so she had to cover extra patients. Made sense, except she seemed different. Distracted. Happy almost. She was humming while she made dinner. "Good day?" I asked from the couch where I was grading essays. "Oh yeah, just, long but good." Her phone buzzed on the counter. She practically lunged for it, looked at the screen, smiled, then caught herself and put it face down. "Who was that?" I asked. "Just Emily," she said quickly. "Wedding planning stuff." I thought nothing of it. Why would I? But after that I started noticing things, little things. Rachel's phone habits changed. She'd always been casual about her phone. Left it lying around, didn't care if I glanced at it. But suddenly she was taking it everywhere. To the bathroom, to the kitchen while she made coffee. She'd keep it in her pocket even at home, which was weird because she used to complain about how uncomfortable that was. When a text came in, she'd tilt the phone away from me to read it. If I walked into the room while she was texting, she'd quickly close whatever she was typing. "You're being weird about your phone," I said one night in October, trying to keep it light. She froze. "What? No, I'm not. You are. You're like hiding it." "I'm not hiding anything, Christopher." "God, you're so paranoid lately." That word, paranoid, she'd never called me that before. It stung. "I'm not paranoid. I just noticed." "Well, stop noticing. Jesus. Can I have some privacy?" She stormed upstairs. I sat there feeling like I'd done something wrong. I apologized later that night in bed, said I was sorry for being overbearing, sorry for making her feel monitored. She accepted my apology, but didn't really look at me. Then there were the late nights. Rachel started working late more and more often, always on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like clockwork. She'd text me around 4 p.m. "Running behind, might be home late tonight. Don't wait up for dinner." I'd eat alone, grade papers, watch TV. She'd come home around 9 or 10, sometimes later. Always showered, always said she was exhausted, and went straight to bed. Our sex life dropped off a cliff. We used to be intimate 2 or 3 times a week. It wasn't movie star passionate, but it was good, comfortable, connected. By November we were down to maybe once every 2 weeks, and even then she seemed elsewhere, going through the motions. One night in early December I tried to initiate. We hadn't had sex in almost 3 weeks. She was in bed reading on her phone. I kissed her neck. "Hey!" She flinched. Actually flinched. "I'm tired, Chris. We haven't. It's been a while. I know, I'm just really tired lately. Work's been crazy." I pulled back. "Is everything okay? With us?" She finally looked at me. "Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it be?" "I don't know. You just seem distant." She sighed. Put her phone down. "I'm not distant. I'm stressed. The holidays are coming up. Work's insane. Tyler and Emily's wedding planning is constant. I'm just overwhelmed, that's all." I wanted to believe her, so I did. Then Rachel started going to the gym, out of nowhere. She'd never been a gym person. She always said she got enough movement at work, being on her feet all day cleaning teeth. But suddenly in November she joined the Lifetime Fitness in Naperville. "I need to do something for myself," she said when I asked about it. "I feel like I'm getting old. I want to feel strong again." It seemed reasonable, healthy even. I supported it. "That's great, babe. Good for you." She'd go 3 or 4 times a week after work, always showered there. "Their showers are so much nicer than ours," she'd say with a laugh. But I noticed other things. She started dressing differently. Nicer clothes, more effort with makeup. She bought new perfume, something floral and expensive that I'd never seen before. New lingerie showed up in the laundry, black, lacy, sexy stuff that I'd never seen her wear. "That's pretty," I said once, picking up a black bra from the laundry basket. She grabbed it from me. "Thanks," I treated myself. "You should wear it sometime, for me." She smiled tightly. "Yeah, maybe," but she never did. I never saw any of that new lingerie. Not on her, anyway. Looking back, I can see how obvious it all was. But when you love someone, when you trust them completely, you make excuses. You find reasons. Rachel's stressed. She's finding herself. She's going through something, and I need to be supportive, not suspicious. I told myself I was being a good husband by giving her space. In December, we started helping Tyler and Emily plan the wedding. Emily had asked Rachel to be a bridesmaid, and Rachel was all in. She helped Emily pick out bridesmaid dresses, went to the venue tours, tasted cakes. The two of them would spend hours on the phone talking about flowers and seating charts. Tyler asked me to help plan his bachelor party. We'd meet at his apartment every couple weeks to coordinate. One night, early December, I was there around 8. Emily was working late at school. They were doing parent-teacher conferences. Tyler's apartment was nice, modern, clean. Too clean, actually, for a guy who'd always been kind of messy in college. There were fresh flowers on the counter. The kitchen looked like it had just been cleaned. We were sitting on the couch, looking at potential venues for the bachelor party. Topgolf, a brewery tour, maybe a Cubs game if the timing worked. My phone buzzed. Text from Rachel. "Hey babe, running late again. Maybe another hour. Sorry." At the exact same second, Tyler's phone buzzed on the coffee table. The notification lit up the screen. I wasn't trying to look, but I saw it. R. "Okay, sounds good. See you soon." My stomach dropped. R. Rachel. But that didn't make sense. Rachel just texted me that she was running late at work. Why would she text Tyler at the same time? "Everything okay?" Tyler asked. I looked up. He was watching me. Had he seen me see his phone? "Yeah, fine. Rachel's working late." "Again, she works too hard." He said it casually, but there was something in his voice, something I couldn't place. "Yeah," I said. My mouth felt dry. We went back to planning, but I couldn't focus. Hard, lots of names start with R. Ryan, Rob, Robert, Rebecca, Randy, Rick. It didn't have to be Rachel, except my gut knew it was. Christmas was a nightmare, though I didn't realize it at the time. We hosted our annual holiday party, our friend group of 4 couples, 8 people total. Everyone brought food. Someone brought a karaoke machine. We drank too much wine and sang bad 90s songs, and it should have been fun. But I kept watching Rachel and Tyler. They sat next to each other on the couch for most of the night. Close. Not touching exactly, but close enough that their legs would brush when they shifted. Rachel laughed at everything Tyler said. These big, genuine laughs that I hadn't heard from her in months. Emily was in the corner talking to one of the other wives. She looked tired, distant. I wondered if she noticed, if she saw what I was seeing. Around 10 p.m., the kitchen was a disaster. Plates and glasses everywhere. Someone, maybe Marcus, suggested we clean up before everyone left. "I'll help," Rachel volunteered. "Me too," Tyler said immediately. They went into the kitchen together. I watched from the living room, pretending to listen to someone's story about their in-laws. The kitchen was only partially visible from where I was standing. I could see them moving around, loading the dishwasher, washing dishes. They were in there for 25 minutes. I timed it on my phone. 25 minutes to clean up some dishes and load a dishwasher. When they came back, Rachel's face was flushed. Tyler's shirt was wrinkled. They weren't touching. They weren't obvious. But something felt wrong. "All done," Rachel said brightly. "Kitchen spotless." Emily looked up from her conversation. "Thanks, guys. You didn't have to do all that." "No problem," Tyler said. He sat down next to Emily and kissed her on the temple. The perfect fiancé. I stood there with my beer feeling like I was losing my mind. New Year's Eve, we all went downtown to a big public event. Thousands of people. Fireworks at midnight. It was cold, mid-20s, and we huddled together in the crowd, breath visible in the air. At 11:59, everyone started counting down. 10, 9, 8. I looked at Rachel. She was looking at Tyler, not Emily. Tyler, for just a second, maybe 2, but I saw it. At midnight, Rachel turned and kissed me. Her lips were cold, her eyes were empty. "Happy New Year," she said. "Happy New Year," I said back. I made a resolution that night. I decided I was going to be a better husband. I was going to stop being so anxious, so suspicious, so in my head all the time. I was going to trust my wife. I had no idea that was the last normal day of my life. On January 10th, Rachel came home from the gym with wet hair. She'd showered there, which was normal, but when I handed her her phone, she'd left it on the counter. She snatched it out of my hand so fast I actually stepped back. "Why are you being weird?" she snapped. "I'm not. I was just—" "I'm tired of you monitoring me, Christopher. Jesus." I apologized, like I always do. I said I was sorry for making her feel watched, sorry for being too anxious, sorry for existing. Basically, she softened a little, said she was just stressed. We went to bed. I didn't sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling, my mind running through every little thing I'd been ignoring for months. At 3 a.m, I got up, went to the living room with my laptop, typed into Google, "signs my wife is cheating." The list that came up felt like someone had written it specifically about Rachel. Protective of phone, working late, less intimacy, defensive when questioned, new appearance changes, secretive about schedule. Every single box checked. I felt pathetic, like one of those Reddit posts I'd read and thought, how did they not see it? But I was seeing it now. The next morning, January 11th, I called in sick to work, as the first time in 2 years. Rachel had already left for her shift at the dental office. I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop and coffee that went cold while I stared at our phone bill account online. My hands were shaking. I didn't want to be right. I wanted to find nothing and feel stupid and go back to my normal life where I trusted my wife. But I clicked View Details on our bill, and there it was. One number. Over and over. 200 texts in the past month alone. Calls at 11 p.m., calls at 6 a.m., calls during work hours, 45-minute conversations when I was at school teaching. I knew that number. I had it saved in my own phone. Tyler, my best friend, my brother. I sat there for probably 20 minutes just staring at the screen. My coffee was cold. The kitchen was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. And I just kept thinking, no, this isn't real. This is a mistake. But phone records don't lie. When Rachel came home that evening, she was cheerful, talking about her day, asking about my stomach bug. I lied, said I was feeling better. She kissed me on the forehead, made dinner, acted completely normal. I almost confronted her right then. The words were in my throat. But something stopped me. What if I was wrong? What if they were planning a surprise for me? A birthday party, something innocent. I decided to wait, to gather more evidence. Looking back now, I think I was still making excuses for them. Still trying to protect the people I loved from being the people they actually were. Over the next week, I dove deeper. I checked Rachel's Instagram. In the past 3 months, she'd posted more than usual. Gym selfies, lunch photos, cute outfit pics. And Tyler had liked every single one. Within minutes of posting, he'd comment things like, "looking good," with a fire emoji. She'd reply, "thanks for the advice," on a photo of her in a new dress. On the surface, innocent. Under the surface, knowing what I knew now, disgusting. I found charges on our joint credit card, a Marriott in Schaumburg, $180, a Hampton Inn in Oak Brook, $156. Both on nights Rachel said she was working late or at a dental conference. One charge at Victoria's Secret for $247. I'd never seen any new lingerie. A dinner at an expensive Italian place, $178. On a day Rachel told me she was at a work thing. Every piece of evidence was another nail, another betrayal, another lie. On January 22nd, I went to Best Buy after work. No, actually, I ordered on Amazon. I bought a small hidden camera for $127, and when it arrived, My hands were shaking so hard I could barely open the box. I felt like a criminal, like I was the bad guy for not trusting my wife. But I needed to know. I installed it in our bedroom, hidden in the bookshelf with a view of the bed. The camera connected to an app on my phone. I could watch in real time. I hated myself for doing it. But I needed to see. January 28th was a Tuesday. Rachel said she was working late. I told her I had grading to do at school, that I'd be home late too. Instead, I drove 3 blocks away and parked, pulled out my phone, opened the camera app. At 8:47 p.m., Tyler walked into my bedroom using Rachel's key. I watched them undress. I watched them get into my bed. I watched them have sex in the bed I sleep in every night, and then I watched them lie there, talking, laughing. Tyler said, "I can't wait until after the wedding. We can do this without sneaking around." Rachel said, "I know. Emily suspects nothing, and Christopher's too busy with school to notice anything." They laughed, like it was funny, like I was the punchline. I sat in my car and vomited in the parking lot. Then I drove to a forest preserve and sat there until midnight, staring at nothing, crying. Not sad crying, rage crying. I punched my steering wheel until my knuckles bled. 12 years of friendship, 5 years of marriage, and they called me naive. Rachel called 14 times. I ignored all of them. At 6 in the morning, I texted back. "Sorry, fell asleep at Marcus's house after grading. Coming home now." She replied immediately. "Okay, babe, breakfast." I went home. She made pancakes. We ate together like nothing had happened. That morning, Tyler texted the group chat. "Guys, only 6 weeks to the wedding. Getting excited." I replied, "Can't wait, man." And I meant it. Because sitting there, eating pancakes made by my cheating wife while texting my cheating best friend, I realized something. I wasn't going to confront them. Not yet. Tyler's wedding was March 24th, 8 weeks away, and I was going to let them have it. Every lie, every secret meeting, every moment they thought they were safe. And then I was going to burn it all down. That day, I went to a Starbucks with my laptop, created a burner email account, started compiling everything. Phone records, screenshots of every page, credit card statements with hotel charges highlighted in yellow, Instagram screenshots with timestamps, GPS location data from Rachel's Google account showing her at Tyler's apartment on nights she said she was working, and the video, 30 seconds of it. Edited to show their faces clearly. No nudity visible, but the context was obvious, undeniable. I backed everything up to 3 USB drives and cloud storage. I created a timeline in Excel, color-coded, dated, every lie mapped out like a prosecution case. I'm a teacher. I'm thorough. For the next 2 months, I lived a double life. During the day, I was the perfect husband and supportive friend. I went to wedding planning meetings, helped Tyler organize his bachelor party, smiled when Rachel talked about Emily's dress fitting, laughed at their jokes, attended rehearsal dinner venue tastings. At night, I updated my evidence folder. I researched Illinois divorce law. I consulted with an attorney on the phone for $350. She said with my evidence, I'd get a favorable settlement. I opened a new bank account and transferred half our savings. I changed my passwords. I removed Rachel as my beneficiary. I prepared for war, and they had no idea. There were moments when I wavered. On Valentine's Day, Rachel gave me a card that said, "To my best friend and love of my life." I gave her flowers that were already wilted because I'd bought them the day before and left them in my car. We had sex that night. I initiated it just to keep up appearances. Afterward, I cried silently in the bathroom. I felt disgusting, but I couldn't let her know I knew. Not yet. In mid-February, Marcus, my colleague at school, noticed something was off. We were having lunch in the teacher's lounge, and he just said, "Chris, you look like hell. What's going on?" I told him everything, showed him the video. He stared at his sandwich for a long time, then looked at me and said, "Jesus, Chris, you need to confront them. Get a lawyer. Get out." "I have a lawyer," I said, "and I will get out." Just not yet. What do you mean, not yet? March 24th. Tyler's wedding. That's when everyone finds out. Marcus looked at me like I'd lost my mind. What are you planning? You'll see. He tried to talk me out of it. Said it was cruel. Said Emily didn't deserve to be humiliated in front of everyone. And he was right. She didn't. But neither did I. Neither did the person I was before I found that video. The person who trusted people. The person who believed in marriage and friendship and loyalty. That person was dead, and I was going to make sure everyone knew who killed him. On February 20th, I finalized the email. Subject line: information regarding Tyler Anderson and Rachel Hayes. Professional, clinical, devastating. The body of the email was simple. Attached, you will find a video, 42 screenshots, and a detailed timeline documenting a 10-month affair between Tyler Anderson and Rachel Hayes. I believe you deserve to know the truth before the wedding proceeds. The attachments included everything: the video, the phone records, the credit card statements, the timeline, and the recipient list. 37 people: Emily, her parents, Tyler's parents, all 8 bridesmaids and groomsmen, Father Michael, the priest performing the ceremony, Holly, the venue coordinator at Oakbrook Country Club, 8 of our mutual friends, Tyler's boss at the marketing firm, Rachel's boss at the dental office. Everyone who needed to know. Everyone who deserved to know. I hovered over the Schedule Send button. Set the date and time. March 24th, 10:45 a.m., 2 hours before the ceremony, and I clicked it. There was no going back. The next 5 weeks were the longest of my life. I kept going through the motions. Attended Tyler's bachelor party. We went to Topgolf, had drinks. Tyler got drunk and emotional. He hugged me and said, "Chris, you're my brother. I don't know what I'd do without you." I hugged him back and said, "Me neither, man." Inside, I felt nothing. The rehearsal dinner was March 23rd, the night before the wedding. 50 guests at Oakbrook Country Club. Emily's father gave a toast about how proud he was to call Tyler his son. I stood up as a groomsman and said, "Tyler and I have been through everything together. Tomorrow's going to be a day none of us will ever forget." People laughed, clinked glasses. Rachel squeezed my hand under the table and whispered, "We have such a good life." I squeezed back. "We really do." 18 hours until the email sent. That night I couldn't sleep. Rachel was peaceful next to me. I checked the email one last time on my phone. Confirmed for 10:45 a.m. I wrote in my journal, "Tomorrow I burn it all down and I'm not sorry." At 7 a.m. on March 24th, I woke up before my alarm. Rachel was already up, excited, talking about what a big day it was. "Tyler must be so nervous," she said, curling her hair in the bathroom mirror. "I'm sure he is," I said. We drove separately to the church. Rachel had bridesmaid duties early. I was coming later for groomsmen photos. As I drove, I kept checking the clock. 9:15 a.m., 9:47 a.m., 10:12 a.m. I parked behind Holy Trinity Church at 9:30. The building was beautiful. White roses everywhere, elegant decorations, $40,000 worth of perfection that was about to turn into a crime scene. I walked around the outside of the church. Guests were arriving in their spring wedding clothes. Emily's family was bustling around, happy and excited. I saw Rachel through a window in the bridal suite, laughing with the other bridesmaids, helping Emily adjust her veil. At 10:15, I went to the groomsmen room. Tyler was there, nervous, fixing his tie over and over. When he saw me, his face lit up. "Chris, thank God you're here. I'm freaking out, man." We hugged. I felt nothing. "In less than 3 hours, I'll be married," he said. "Can you believe it?" "No," I said honestly. "I really can't." At 10:30, I excused myself, said I needed some air. I walked to the back of the church near the exit doors where I could see everything. Guests trickling in. Tyler greeting people in the vestibule, shaking hands, all smiles. On Valentine's Day, Rachel gave me a card that said, "To my best friend and love of my life." I gave her flowers that were already wilted because I'd bought them the day before and left them in my car. We had sex that night. I initiated it just to keep up appearances. Afterward, I cried silently in the bathroom. I felt disgusting, but I couldn't let her know I knew. Not yet. In mid-February, Marcus, my colleague at school, noticed something was off. We were having lunch in the teacher's lounge, and he just said, "Chris, you look like hell. What's going on?" I told him everything, showed him the video. He stared at his sandwich for a long time, then looked at me and said, "Jesus, Chris, you need to confront them. Get a lawyer. Get out." "I have a lawyer," I said, "and I will get out. Just not yet." "What do you mean, not yet?" March 24th, Tyler's wedding. That's when everyone finds out. Marcus looked at me like I'd lost my mind. "What are you planning?" "You'll see." He tried to talk me out of it. Said it was cruel, said Emily didn't deserve to be humiliated in front of everyone. And he was right. She didn't. But neither did I. Neither did the person I was before I found that video. The person who trusted people. The person who believed in marriage and friendship and loyalty. That person was dead, and I was going to make sure everyone knew who killed him. On February 20th, I finalized the email. Subject line: information regarding Tyler Anderson and Rachel Hayes. Professional, clinical, devastating. The body of the email was simple. Attached, you will find a video, 42 screenshots, and a detailed timeline documenting a 10-month affair between Tyler Anderson and Rachel Hayes. I believe you deserve to know the truth before the wedding proceeds. The attachments included everything: the video, the phone records, the credit card statements, the timeline, and the recipient list. 37 people: Emily, her parents, Tyler's parents, all 8 bridesmaids and groomsmen, Father Michael, the priest performing the ceremony, Holly, the venue coordinator at Oakbrook Country Club, 8 of our mutual friends, Tyler's boss at the marketing firm, Rachel's boss at the dental office. Everyone who needed to know. Everyone who deserved to know. I hovered over the Schedule Send button. Set the date and time. March 24th, 10:45 a.m., 2 hours before the ceremony, and I clicked it. There was no going back. The next 5 weeks were the longest of my life. I kept going through the motions. Attended Tyler's bachelor party. We went to Topgolf, had drinks. Tyler got drunk and emotional. He hugged me and said, "Chris, you're my brother. I don't know what I'd do without you." I hugged him back and said, "Me neither, man." Inside, I felt nothing. The rehearsal dinner was March 23rd, the night before the wedding. 50 guests at Oakbrook Country Club. Emily's father gave a toast about how proud he was to call Tyler his son. I stood up as a groomsman and said, "Tyler and I have been through everything together. Tomorrow's going to be a day none of us will ever forget." People laughed, clinked glasses. Rachel squeezed my hand under the table and whispered, "We have such a good life." I squeezed back. "We really do." 18 hours until the email sent. That night I couldn't sleep. Rachel was peaceful next to me. I checked the email one last time on my phone. Confirmed for 10:45 a.m. I wrote in my journal, "Tomorrow I burn it all down and I'm not sorry." At 7 a.m. on March 24th, I woke up before my alarm. Rachel was already up, excited, talking about what a big day it was. "Tyler must be so nervous," she said, curling her hair in the bathroom mirror. "I'm sure he is," I said. We drove separately to the church. Rachel had bridesmaid duties early. I was coming later for groomsmen photos. As I drove, I kept checking the clock. 9:15 a.m., 9:47 a.m., 10:12 a.m. I parked behind Holy Trinity Church at 9:30. The building was beautiful. White roses everywhere, elegant decorations, $40,000 worth of perfection that was about to turn into a crime scene. I walked around the outside of the church. Guests were arriving in their spring wedding clothes. Emily's family was bustling around, happy and excited. I saw Rachel through a window in the bridal suite, laughing with the other bridesmaids, helping Emily adjust her veil. At 10:15, I went to the groomsmen room. Tyler was there, nervous, fixing his tie over and over. When he saw me, his face lit up. "Chris, thank God you're here. I'm freaking out, man." We hugged. I felt nothing. "In less than 3 hours, I'll be married," he said. "Can you believe it?" "No," I said honestly. "I really can't." At 10:30, I excused myself, said I needed some air. I walked to the back of the church, near the exit doors, where I could see everything. Guests trickling in. Tyler greeting people in the vestibule, shaking hands, all smiles. Rachel in the bridal suite with Emily, both of them looking perfect. My burner phone was in my pocket. Email app open. 10:41 a.m. Tyler's laughing with someone's uncle. 10:42 a.m. Rachel's fixing Emily's veil again. Emily looks so happy, so innocent. 10:43 a.m. Emily's father looks emotional, proud. 10:44 a.m. I could stop this. I could run to the router, cut the internet, delete the email, save Emily from what's about to happen. 10:44:30 a.m. But I won't. 10:45 a.m. Send. My phone buzzed. Email delivered successfully to 37 recipients. For 30 seconds, nothing happened. The church was still beautiful, still peaceful. Guests were finding their seats. The string quartet was playing softly. Then the phones started buzzing. At first it was normal. People always check their phones at weddings, right? Rude, but normal. But then one of the bridesmaids gasped, loud enough that people turned to look. Emily's mother's face drained of color. Tyler's boss, seated in the back, stood up abruptly, staring at his phone like he'd been punched. I watched like I was watching a play I'd written. At 10:47, someone ran to the bridal suite. Panicked. 30 seconds later, Emily screamed. We all heard it. A raw, broken sound that echoed through the church. Guests in the pews looked confused. More phones buzzing, more gasps, more people standing up, showing their neighbors their screens. It was spreading. Beautiful, terrible wildfire. Rachel checked her phone. Someone had forwarded her the email. I watched her face go from confusion to horror. She looked up, scanned the church, and found me standing in the back. Our eyes met across 150 people. She knew I knew, she knew I'd planned this. In the groomsmen room, someone showed Tyler the video. I couldn't see his face, but I heard him through the wall. "What the? No, that's not..." And then silence. Then Emily's father burst from the bridal suite. He was a big man, usually kind, but right now he looked like he wanted to kill someone. "Where is he?" he shouted. "Where's that son of a bitch?" Tyler tried to hide. Didn't work. Emily's father found him in 30 seconds. "You did this to my daughter, on her wedding day." Tyler tried to explain. "It's not. She seduced me. It's not what it..." Emily's father got in his face. Get out of this church right now." Paramedics arrived 8 minutes later. Emily had collapsed. Panic attack, hyperventilating. They wheeled her out on a stretcher in her wedding dress in front of everyone. That image will haunt me forever. Rachel ran to me, mascara running, furious. "How could you? At her wedding? You're a monster." I looked at her calmly. "I'm a monster. That's rich coming from you. This isn't... We can fix this. Please don't do this." "It's done," I said. "I filed for divorce yesterday. Lawyer's name is in your email." She slapped me. Hard. Guests were watching. I didn't flinch. Tyler approached next. Broken, crying. "Chris, please. I don't know what I was thinking. We can..." "You were thinking I was naive," I said. "You said so yourself." His face went white. "You heard that? When February 10th. I've known for 6 weeks. I watched you lie to my face every single day. Every time you called me your brother." He broke down completely. "I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm not." I walked away. Left him crying in the middle of Holy Trinity Church, while the venue coordinator announced over the PA system that the wedding was canceled. Guests filed out, some crying, some angry, all shocked. Families gathered in clusters, processing what they'd just witnessed. Tyler's parents found me in the parking lot. "You ruined our son's life," his mother said. "No," I said. "He ruined his own. I just made sure everyone knew." I got in my car, sat there, watched the church empty, watched families console each other, watched Tyler leave in shame, alone, while his shattered fiancée was driven away by her parents. I'd won. "So why did I feel so empty?" Marcus called. "Holy shit. I just heard. Are you okay?" "I think so. I'm not sure." "Where are you?" "Sitting in my car, watching it all fall apart." "Come to my place. You shouldn't be alone." I drove away. The church disappeared in my rearview mirror. The wedding was over, but the fallout was just beginning. The next 48 hours were chaos. My phone exploded with texts and calls. Some friends said it was brutal but deserved. Others said what I did to Emily was cruel. My parents called. My dad, who cheated on my mom, said, "I get it, son. I've been there. But that girl didn't deserve that." My mom said Rachel deserved consequences, but did it have to be so public? I didn't have answers. Emily was hospitalized overnight, severe panic attack. Her parents had to tell all the extended family who traveled from out of state. She refused to see anyone except them and a therapist. I did that to her. She was innocent, and I destroyed her in front of 150 people. The guilt started then. On social media, the story leaked wider. People who weren't even there heard about it. My Facebook feed became a war zone. Some posts praised me, others condemned me. I deleted all my accounts. Our friend group, the 8 of us who'd been close for years, fractured immediately. 2 couples sided with me. 1 couple sided with Emily, saying I'd gone too far. 1 couple went neutral and stopped talking to everyone. Years of friendship. Gone in 2 days. Tyler was put on administrative leave at his marketing firm. His boss had been in the email chain. 2 weeks later, he was fired. Morality clause. Using company time for the affair. The phone records proved it. Rachel was called into Dr. Patterson's office at the dental practice. Small office, family-run Catholic values. Patients had heard the gossip. By April 2nd, Rachel had mutually agreed to resign. She called me. I didn't answer. Her voicemail said, "I lost my job. I have nothing. Are you happy now?" I wasn't happy. I didn't feel anything. Tyler and Rachel tried to make it work for about 8 days. They realized the affair was just escape and excitement. Without the secrecy, there was nothing. They separated and never spoke again. My divorce was filed. Rachel didn't contest. I kept the house, bought her out for $85,000. We split the savings. No alimony. The evidence made sure of that. Finalized by July 3rd. In May, I ran into Emily's mother at the grocery store. She confronted me in the parking lot. "My daughter can't sleep. She has nightmares. She's on antidepressants now. You could have told her privately. You didn't have to humiliate her in front of everyone. You're not a hero. You're just cruel." I tried to respond, couldn't find words. Drove home and called Marcus. "She's right," I said. "What did I do?" On May 7th, I got a call from the hospital. Rachel had overdosed on sleeping pills. Intentional. She left a note that said, "I can't live with what I did, and I can't live with what he did to me." She survived. 72-hour psych hold. I went to the hospital. She wouldn't see me. I looked at her through the window and thought, I wanted revenge. Not this, never this. I called the therapist's office the next day, scheduled my first appointment with Dr. Sarah Mitchell. For 3 months I went every week. We unpacked everything, the betrayal, my people-pleasing patterns, my conflict avoidance, the way my father's affair had shaped my fear of becoming him. In July, Dr. Mitchell said something that stuck with me. "You weren't wrong to leave them, but you weaponized their betrayal, and weapons don't care who they hit." She was right. I wrote a letter to Emily, mailed it in May, never got a response. The letter said, "I'm sorry for how I did this. You were innocent. You deserved better. I was so focused on hurting them, I didn't think about hurting you. I don't expect forgiveness. I just need you to know, this wasn't your fault. I don't blame her for not responding. I sold the house in August. Too many memories. Moved to a smaller apartment in Elmhurst. Every box I unpacked felt like releasing weight. When school started again in the fall, I went back to teaching with a different perspective. My students noticed. "Mr. Hayes seems more real," one of them said. I was. I'd stopped pretending to be okay when I wasn't. The two couples who sided with me stayed in touch. We started new traditions. Monthly game nights. No talk of Tyler or Rachel. I made new friends through therapy and work. I heard through the grapevine that Tyler moved to Arizona. Fresh start. New job in sales, lower paying than before. Still single, still struggling. Rachel moved to Colorado. Therapy, non-dental job, focusing on herself. I hope they both healed. But it wasn't my job to give them peace anymore. In January, 10 months after everything, I went on my first date. Jessica, a teacher friend, set us up. I was honest from the start. "I'm divorced. It ended badly. I'm working on myself." She said, "Me too. Different story, but same healing." We dated for 3 months. Didn't work out romantically, but we stayed friends. Not every connection has to be forever. That's okay. On March 24th, 1 year after the wedding, I spent the day in quiet reflection. I journaled. 1 year ago, I destroyed a wedding. I don't regret leaving. I regret how I left. I drove to Holy Trinity Church, sat in the back pew on a quiet weekday afternoon. I said a prayer for Emily, for Rachel, for Tyler, for myself. That spring, I was doing better. New apartment, therapy working, better friendships. I started writing. My journal became an anonymous blog about healing from betrayal. It helped. I met Alexis 8 months ago. We're taking it slow. She knows the full story, doesn't judge. It's the first healthy relationship I've had, based on honesty, boundaries, communication. She asked me once if I regretted it. I told her the truth. I regret the collateral damage, but I don't regret leaving. It's been 2 years now since I stood in that church. 2 years since I sent that email. 2 years since I watched 150 people's phones light up with the truth at exactly the same time. I heard through the grapevine, you know how small social circles are, that Emily's doing well now, really well. She's engaged again, to a principal at her elementary school. His name's David, apparently. Kind man, patient. They're planning a small private wedding, just close family and friends. No big spectacle. I'm genuinely glad. She deserves happiness. She deserves someone who won't betray her. Someone who'll show up honestly every single day. I hope he's that person for her. She never responded to my letter, the apology I sent her back in May of 2024. I check sometimes, stupid I know, to see if maybe there's something in my mailbox. But there never is, and I understand, I really do. What could she say? What words exist for what I put her through? Some wounds don't heal with an apology. Sometimes sorry isn't enough. Sometimes the damage is just done. Tyler's remarried. I found out through a Facebook post from someone in our old friend group who hadn't unfriended everyone yet. Quick rebound, less than a year after everything exploded. Her name's Ashley, works in pharmaceutical sales. They moved to Scottsdale, Arizona. Fresh start and all that. I looked at the wedding photos. Just out of morbid curiosity, I guess. Small ceremony, maybe 20 people. Tyler looked older in the pictures, more tired. The smile didn't reach his eyes the way it used to. Marcus told me he heard it's already having problems. Arguments, trust issues, which makes sense. If you'll cheat with someone, you'll cheat on someone. That's what they say, right? He got what he wanted. A new life, a new wife, a new city. Just not a better one. He's working some mid-level sales job, making decent money, but nothing like what he had at the marketing firm before the morality clause got him fired. No social circle, no friends who've known him since college, no history that isn't tainted. That's his prison, I guess. Starting over at 34 with nothing but secrets and shame. Rachel moved to Colorado Springs. Last I heard, she's working as a receptionist at a physical therapy clinic. Not dental work. She couldn't go back to that after losing her license. She's in therapy long-term, outpatient program first, then regular weekly sessions, working through a lot, from what I understand. We haven't spoken since the divorce was finalized. No emails, no texts, no accidental run-ins at the grocery store. We move in completely different circles now, and honestly, that's for the best. I don't wish bad things on her. I don't wish bad things on Tyler either. I just don't wish anything at all. They're not part of my life anymore. They're ghosts, strangers who used to be important. Our original friend group, those 8 people who used to do everything together, never reunited. Not once. The group chat got deleted. The traditions stopped. No more Friday game nights. No more couples trips to Wisconsin. No more holiday parties with karaoke. I kept 2 couples. Dave and Jennifer stayed in touch with me. They lived through their own trust issues. Dave's dad had an affair when he was a kid. So they understood why I did what I did, even if they thought it went too far. We have new traditions now. Monthly dinners, quiet ones, no drama. Just good food and honest conversation. Marcus and his wife Lauren also stuck around. Marcus was the one who sat with me through the worst of it, the one who talked me into therapy, the one who showed up at my apartment with groceries when I couldn't bring myself to leave the house. That's real friendship. That's what I was searching for all along with Tyler and didn't know I already had with Marcus. The other 2 couples from the group went their separate ways. One couple, Eric and Michelle, sided completely with Emily. Said what I did was unforgivable. That I was cruel and vindictive and no better than the cheaters. We haven't spoken since April 2024. The last couple, Brandon and Tessa, went neutral. They didn't want to be involved, didn't want to take sides, just wanted to move on with their lives. I respect that, actually. Not everyone needs to be a character in my revenge story. I made new friends too, through therapy group, through work, through Alexis. People who don't know the old me. People who meet me as I am now. Flawed, yes, but honest about it. Working on it. Not hiding behind a mask of being fine when I'm falling apart. Last week something happened that felt significant. I was cleaning out my desk at home. Alexis and I are talking about moving in together, so I'm downsizing, and I found the USB drive, the one with all the evidence. Phone records, screenshots, the video, the timeline, everything. I held it in my hand for a long time. This tiny piece of plastic that contained so much pain, so much proof, so much ammunition. And then I took it outside. Alexis was there, watching me from the porch. I got a hammer from the garage and I smashed it, crushed it into pieces on the driveway. Every hit felt like releasing something. When I was done, breathing hard, covered in plastic shards, Alexis came down the steps. "How do you feel?" she asked. "I don't know," I said, and that was honest. I didn't know. Relief, guilt, freedom, all of it, none of it. She hugged me. "That's okay. You don't have to know." And that's where I am now, 33 years old, teaching English at a school I love, in therapy, still, though now it's every other week instead of every week, in a healthy relationship with someone who knows my worst moments and chooses to stay anyway. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. The person who ignored red flags and made pancakes with his cheating wife and called his betrayer brother. That version of me is gone. Dead and buried with the marriage certificate and the friendship bracelets and all the other artifacts of a life I thought I had. This version of me is harder, more careful, less trusting, but also more honest, more boundaried, more aware of my own worth. People ask me, sometimes, strangers who find my anonymous blog about healing from betrayal, or new friends who eventually hear the story, they ask, was it worth it? Do you regret it? And here's my honest answer. I don't know if it was worth it. I'll probably never know, because I can't see the alternate timeline. I can't see what would have happened if I'd confronted them privately, if I'd told Emily alone, if I'd just walked away without the explosion. Maybe she would have still been devastated. Maybe Tyler would have still lost his job. Maybe Rachel would have still fallen apart. Or maybe it all would have been quieter, more contained. Less collateral damage. I'll never know. What I do know is this. I got justice, but justice came with a price. The price was Emily's panic attack, Rachel's suicide attempt, the destruction of friendships that had nothing to do with the affair, the trauma of watching people I cared about suffer even if they deserved some of it. I learned I'm capable of cruelty when I'm hurt enough. That scares me. That's the part that keeps me in therapy. That's the part I'm still working on. But I also learned I'm capable of healing, of setting boundaries, of walking away from people who hurt me, of building a new life on honesty instead of comfort. That saves me. That's the part I'm proud of. If you're going through betrayal right now, if you're reading this or listening to this and seeing yourself in my story, here's what I want you to know. You have every right to leave. You have every right to be angry. You have every right to want justice. But revenge is a fire. It burns everything it touches, including you, especially you. I don't regret destroying their lies. I don't regret leaving. I don't regret demanding the truth. But I regret the way I did it. I regret the spectacle. I regret making Emily's trauma into a public event. I regret Rachel's suicide attempt. I regret not thinking through the ripple effects. There's a difference between justice and revenge. I learned that too late, but maybe you don't have to. My life now isn't perfect. Some days I still think about that moment in the church. That split second at 10:44 and 30 seconds when I could have stopped the email, could have deleted it, could have chosen a different path, but I didn't, and I have to live with that. Most days I'm okay with it. Most days I wake up next to Alexis and I grade papers and I have dinner with Marcus and Jennifer and I write in my journal and I feel content, peaceful even. Some days I'm not okay with it. Some days I see Emily's face in my mind, the panic attack, the stretcher, the wedding dress. Some days I hear Rachel's voicemail. I have nothing. Are you happy now? Those days are harder, but I'm learning to hold both truths at the same time. I'm learning that I can be both the victim and the villain, that I can be both right and wrong, that life is more complicated than the revenge stories make it seem. I'm Christopher Hayes. I'm 33. I teach English. I'm in therapy. I'm in love with someone who sees all of me and stays. I have good friends. I made terrible choices, and I'm living with them. But I'm living honestly now. No more ignoring red flags. No more making excuses for people who hurt me. No more prioritizing other people's comfort over my own truth. And you know what? That's enough. That's more than enough. I'm free. Finally, after everything, I'm free.